Ladies and gentlemen, we introduce our third panelist for the day from Bara University of Science and Technology, Samuel Nono.
My dear judges, fellow panelists, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight is such an interesting night because, first and foremost, the house has gotten hot. And for me, that is interesting as a debate. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about your freedom and mine of speech, assembly, and association. I don't know if you know what we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen, but let me bring this straight on. What is freedom of speech? Freedom of speech, ladies and gentlemen, is you being able to air out your opinion, your view, your ideas without any form of reproach. Let me put it as simply as that. And that counts as well for the freedom of assembly and association. You have the right to such a gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, a right is not a privilege, it is an entitlement. You are not privileged to be here. You are entitled to be here. But I must say, this is not free. This, ladies and gentlemen, is not free. Because I can tell you that CCG had to consult the RDC, the DPC. They are informed. They should have been here in the morning session to ascertain and confirm our presence here. It is not free, ladies and gentlemen. I want to be straight on. You see, if I stand here and begin to speak, the question is, are you respecting my views? Am I free to speak? Oh yes, before you I'm free to speak. If I were talking about the government, would I be free to speak? Oh no, I wouldn't be. Because ladies and gentlemen, on the 26th, I must quote, on the 26th of April in 2010, a very prominent government official, yes, a very prominent government official, the press secretary to the president, warns a radio station because it hosted an opposition leader at a radio station. How free is our freedom of speech, ladies and gentlemen? If you're going to be at a radio station, you're going to be as a journalist covering up an event that is against this great nation, and you are going to be apprehended for that? No, ladies and gentlemen, we do not have freedom of speech. No, we don't. I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, it is an entitlement. It is not a privilege. You must stand your ground and say, no, this is a right. The Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, and I quote, I want to read this very plainly, as simple as it comes. You might have seen my colleagues with a different copy of the Constitution. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a summarized version, okay? And the government is doing its part, and that's why I'm going to tell you about my ways forward. The Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, Article 29, states, every person has a right to, clause A, freedom of assembly and demonstration together with others peacefully and unarmed, and petition. So if you are in such a gathering and somebody comes here, tries to deprive you of your right, you have the right, ladies and gentlemen, to actually petition. The Constitution states it. Clause B, freedom of association, which includes the freedom of form and join association, or unions like trade unions or other political and public organizations. The freedom of speech in 9(1)(a), every person has a right of freedom of expression, and this includes freedom of press and other media. And this is why I was telling you about the journalists, I was telling you about the radio stations, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much. My name is John. I'm from KABALE University. You stated it out very well that freedom is a right, not a privilege. Now, the government or the state has the mandate to protect citizen security. Now, the same constitution gives the right that you say is a right, not a privilege, to demonstrate. So how is government supposed to keep the rights of its citizens by protecting their security and not infringing on their rights? Since you are saying it is a right, not a privilege.
Thank you.
How are they supposed to do that?
Thank you, Jerome.
Thank you very much. My name is Msinyeru, Lake University. I'm of the view that the way we are discussing these matters is more of a personal issue than a developmental issue. When we are to assess the freedom of speech and you are basing your opinion on stopping them, on limiting them on what they say, sometimes we misuse our freedom. Sometimes people discuss these matters on public radio stations on a more personal level, and they use inciting violence words. Someone says something on a more and of course everything that involves feelings involves violence somewhere and anger somewhere. So if you say something that is really going to cause trouble in the country, then you have to come and limit your freedom. You're not just taking it away. Thank you very much.
You have quoted within the Constitution that everybody has the right to the freedom of speech and association and assembly as long as it is peaceful and unarmed and it is petitioned. So, are we sure that all the people that are holding the assemblies are having it peacefully?
Thank you.
Are we sure that everyone is unarmed? Thank you.
The last one at the back.
It's unfortunate that some of us are unable to realize and appreciate the freedom that we have in the country. On that note, you suggested, you quoted, right is not a privilege, is an entitlement. You are very right. And you said our being here went through consulting the RDC, the DPC. Then my inquiry comes. How would you wish, how would they know the wrongful gathering and the rightful gathering if those responsible to protect the rightful gathering are not informed?
My brother Joram, I talked about the government and I told you I was coming to the way forward. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was telling you this is a summarized version of a copy of the Constitution. That Constitution might be too expensive for you. This might be a cheap document for you. The reason the government came up with this is simply to avail you a copy of the organ that runs this country. If you are not informed of your rights, ladies and gentlemen, I doubt you would even be seated here. I doubt you'd be listening to me now. So the responsibility of the government and what it is doing is to give civic education to its nationals. Let's agree, yes, the freedom is not 100% per se free, but the government is playing its role to you as the nationals. It is your responsibility to know your rights.
My name is Joel. You in the campus. You do not seem to draw the distinction between the given fundamental rights that Uganda as a government or as a country has upheld. I want you to extend an appreciation to this government of Uganda that even when in one way or the other it has limited your fundamental rights, it has also promoted them. Just as during the time of creation, God made them females and males, gave them life, but after sinning, He limited them and ordained them to die. In the same way, the country does promote your rights, but when you come enjoy them and you are infringing on another person's right, what do you expect them to do for you?
Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, moderator. I would like to ask the panelists. You just stated something that the freedom is not 100% free. Why should we call it freedom when it's not 100% free? And the other thing I would like to inquire is, if really you are given rules and procedures to follow to enjoy your freedom, are you really a first-class citizen of your country?
Thank you.
Even we here, we've not given you freedom to finish your points that you have there. The people are saying there is freedom, they're denying you the freedom to finish your points, they're saying there is freedom. I've stood up to give you an energizer to finish your points.
Thank you very much, Omar. I want to begin with Kampala University. What we are debating here, ladies and gentlemen, is a statutory statement. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of association, okay? We are debating a statutory statement. So when I say it is a freedom, I don't mean it is actually free, but I'm trying to tell you, and I'm trying to explain to you that yes, it is supposed to be free statutorily, but no, what are we seeing on the ground? Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me go straight to my ways forward. The youth involvement. You as the youth have a responsibility to these freedoms. Nobody, ladies and gentlemen, is going to come to you and bring you freedom if you want to fight for it. It's yours. Look for it, fetch it. 2, independence of the implementation organs. Who are we apprehending here? The biggest problem is the police. The biggest problem is probably the army. Are they independent? No. So it means, therefore, the central government have a responsibility to make independent the implementation organs, the police, the military. 3, what else do we have? The legislators, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody has been talking about the POMA, the Public Order Management Act. Ladies and gentlemen, if the legislators know very well that Chapter 4, Article 29 of this Constitution clearly indicates that we have freedoms of speech, assembly, and association, the legislators should never have thought of the POMA. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I would like to thank my fellow panelists who have defined everything that I'm supposed to define in my definitions. I'll go straight to tell you that in Uganda, we don't have freedom, but we have selective freedom aiming at specific individuals. I'll start by telling you that on 30th October last year, Mutesa Onro University organized a beauty pageant. But do you know what happened? The guest of honor, Mama and Babas, was stopped from attending our function and it was put on hold. Is that on freedom? I would like to inform you that on 24th October 2014, Hotel Brevard, there was a civil society forum aimed at talking about electoral process in Uganda. But hardly had Kizza Besigye stepped in the room like this. After 10 minutes, he was told to march out. Is that freedom of association in Uganda? I'll continue by telling you that on hours after President Museveni announced that Amama Mbabazi is no longer the Prime Minister of Uganda, we saw a group of ladies dressed in yellow uniform and t-shirts and being escorted by police van, carrying them to NRM offices. Hours after. And the Public Order Management Act says that if you are to organize something like a demonstration, it should be 7 days. But it was after hours. Can you imagine? Is that freedom of expression in Uganda? If it were for the opposition, would we be seeing police transporting them to the headquarters? I'll also continue to inform you that it is in Uganda where the journalists don't have safety and protection. On 12th this year, 12th January, do you know what happened to the Wafa Broadcasting Services journalist? He was hit several times on the head and hospitalized for I don't know how long. Is that freedom? Is that freedom for a journalist to carry out his duties? I'm giving you a way forward. I'm advising the police, we are suggesting the police should be independent for all Ugandans. If you are to transport supporters of NRM, transport those of FDC too. Next, I'm also suggesting that in Uganda, we are also suggesting that the government should be in position to grant respect to the Fourth Estate. They have a right. It is the Fourth Estate. The media, it is very important because it provides important information to us. But why do you distort them when they are carrying out their duty? We are also suggesting that the youth, it is our future, not in future. We should stand and be the youth. We are suggesting that we shouldn't just stop, but we should stand by and carry out actions. Actions, somebody will ask me, which actions? The actions are now. I will not tell you to go to the bush. Our bush is here. So please, I'm telling you, I'm asking you that let us come, all of us here, and carry out that. In my conclusion, I'm concluding. Liberty lies in the hearts of men and women. When it dies there, no constitution, no law, no court can save it. Justice hard. Thank you so much.
Information.
I would like to inform you that the youth in Uganda are not cooperative about what they are doing. I'm going to give you an instance. We are having Mamba's scandal. Today the youth has question goes to the panelists. Why is it that there has been more action on basic than any other opposition leader?
The presenters articulately saying that our action is supposed to be here, like the things we are doing right now. I want to put it to him that by us coming here every day, talking, eating breakfast and lunch will not solve the problems of Uganda. It's by producing pressure groups and going to the streets and pressurizing government that will bring change to Uganda, not by coming there and just listen and go back home. Thank you very much. A very good university in Uganda.
Thank you.
I want to tell you that being here, it is you and me. When you are taught this, when you learn, it is up to you to go to the village, tell another person that wasn't here. When it reaches 2016, call that person, go with him, vote for the right leader that you want. Thank you so much. I will also talk of Busoga University, the person who asked that, how can you make a demonstration peaceful? That is the role of the police. That is the role of the police. That is why the police is there to keep law and order. Thank you so much. Next, I'll go to the beauty pageant. I think it was well answered by Mutesa Andro University, Honorable there. There was right procedures. We invited Amama Mbabas. We passed through the right procedures. Is that freedom of speech and assembly? I will also, again, continue with my way forward. I would like to tell you that this government, we are suggesting that it should grant opposition a fair ground of taking part in the politics of this country. Because it is through opposition that you will have different and unique ideas that will help in the development of this country. I thank you so much.
Thank you.